what we can do. On snow removal, as you know, and it is that when we get a good snowstorm, priority is interstate. But that doesn't mean that
Right.
we need to neglect other areas. But
Right.
we usually get to them as soon as we can get caught up on the interstate. In this case, there's not an interstate, but we would take care of the one, but eventually we get to those. So maybe with the coordination and some communication, we can look at those areas.
Okay.
We-
Francisco, I'd be more than happy to get with you after this. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Anybody else? Come on down. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Richmond, and I serve as the Director of Road Safety for the Permian Strategic Partnership, a group of 26 energy companies and 2 college systems whose mission is to strengthen and improve the quality of life for all of our residents right here in the Permian. Our work is centered around 4 focus areas: education, healthcare, workforce development, and road safety. Since 2018, we've invested more than $214 million across these focus areas for a collaborative impact of more than $2.3 billion. On the road safety side, we have invested in the New Mexico Junior College CDL training program, 2 rounds of the First Responder Equipment Initiative with our longtime partner, the Permian Road Safety Coalition, and I'm excited that we'll soon be announcing 2 new initiatives in road safety, specifically in preventing secondary incidents and first responder training in Southeast New Mexico. We are laser focused on education and advocacy around the importance of bringing more transportation funding to the Permian Basin. We're estimated to make up over 50% of U.S. oil production by next year. Specifically to New Mexico, $6.2 billion in direct taxes are associated with Permian Basin activity, including $4.1 billion from production and severance taxes. The Permian's home to just 9.4% of New Mexico's population, but contributes more than 24% of the state's private sector GDP and supports over 150,000 jobs. This data makes it clear on how important it is to reinvest in Permian infrastructure, specifically highway infrastructure, in order to keep growing this critical economic sector that provides so much for the rest of the state and the nation. Our District 2 team here is phenomenal to work with, and we cannot thank Francisco and his team enough for how collaborative and responsive they always are to the PSP and our members. As the gentleman just mentioned, the previous winter storm highlighted how important this communication and relationship is. We're actively working to learn more about NMDOT winter weather preparedness and how our members can proactively work with DOT to stage more equipment and identify priority road networks to help keep our production moving. The PSP and our members are committed to safe and responsible operations and stand ready to participate in the discussions and decisions that will improve the quality of life for our region for generations to come. Thank you for all that y'all do, and for being here in the Permian. You are welcome anytime. We'd love to show you around some more. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that, and thank you for your attendance here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioners, I'd like to mention that
Yes, Commissioner, go ahead.
yesterday we had a great program, and I don't know the numbers, but we had industry together as well as the road safety. It was a great collaborative day, and it seemed like the building was full. So we'll get some numbers here in a minute, but it was a very good turnout and a lot of learning for us.
It's always good to have that communication, and up in our district with some of them, like the city, we meet once a month, and we not only meet with the city, we have the county come, we have law enforcement come, and we talk about all the things that we can improve on or do things that are going to make life better, safer. And so those meetings go a long way in the communication and getting stuff done. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Andy Owens with ExxonMobil, and we're a member company of the PSP. We have hundreds of employees and, by extension, thousands of contractors that work for us every day in southeastern New Mexico. In the oil field, the work that they do every day can be dangerous, but we often say the most dangerous thing they do is driving to and from the locations that they're going to. Tragically, over the last 12 months, we've lost 2 employees in vehicle incidents in this area. We appreciate the focus that's been put on some of the major intersections, 285 and 31, Highway 128. So those improvements are underway, but we're fully supportive of any additional improvements that we can do. The stoplight at the relief route and 62-180 outside of Carlsbad has really helped at that intersection. There's other major intersections that could benefit from additional safeguards. So any kind of innovative solutions that we can have, but it does impact the ability for us as a company to attract and retain talent to the region when they're exposed at times to these hazards on the road. So thank you for being here today and for your attention.
Thank you for your comments. We appreciate you being here. Anyone else? Come on. How you doing?
How are you, sir?
Good, good. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Acting Secretary. Thank you. My name is Michael Smith. I'm the President and CEO of the Permian Road Safety Coalition. We hosted the meeting that Commissioner Hicks mentioned in her remarks just moments ago, and it is an absolute delight to host these meetings on an ongoing basis throughout the Permian Basin. Our organization covers 28 counties of West Texas and Southeast New Mexico. 3 counties, of course, here in Southeast New Mexico, and we hold a quarterly road safety luncheon series across those 28 counties where we involve a broad cross-section of community members from the most local of levels all the way up to the state level. And we take a good portion of the day to hear the latest from the field, to understand the latest from Santa Fe, and to also understand what the needs of our communities are. And yesterday's meeting in Hobbs was incredibly revealing. And I want to thank, Mr. Chairman, your opening remarks I thought were spot on. The people of NMDOT, the employees, the leadership make the difference. And yesterday that was on full display when District 2 engineer Sanchez was there with us, and Francisco went through the entirety of District 2 with us, walked through in painstaking fashion where we've been, where we're headed, and what's needed to close the gap. And the remarks that I just have for you this morning, Mr. Chairman, are pretty succinct. And that is that even though our employees are going to work every day and putting the people of Southeast New Mexico first, and that is evident, we are losing the battle every day. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. The latest statistics that we talked about at yesterday's meeting. Here in Southeast New Mexico, roughly, a budget from the state of New Mexico of about $50 million to District 2. 7,000 lane miles that are covered in the district, but a cost in today's dollars of $3 million per mile to maintain 7,000 lane miles. When you quick math, divide that in, and I come back to something that my 10th grader told me when he was studying for his final math exam last week, and he said, "Dad, this math is not mathing." And when you start to see that you take 3 million into 50 and you divide it into 7,000 road miles, it just doesn't leave much to the imagination. So, Mr. Chairman, we're doing our part on the side of the PRSC. The staff and the employees are doing their part. I'm pleased to share with you that at yesterday's meeting, we also talked about the 12-month rolling average of crashes and fatalities in Southeast New Mexico as compared to the rest of the state. And I'm pleased to say that for the first time in a very long time, that Southeast New Mexico is actually leading the rest of New Mexico in saving lives. And that is an excellent thing given the fact that the industry, sometimes referred to as the oil patch, is at an all-time high, as you heard Ms. Richmond point out. So having said all of that, today we want to throw our hat into the ring, so to speak, as we look ahead to the next few months, as we prepare for a legislative session that is coming up, in the next several months. We want to throw our hat into the ring for what we are calling a permanent, sustainable funding source using the windfalls that are currently available to the state of New Mexico to finally and once and for all and forever put our money where our mouth is, and that is to save more lives on the roads of the entire state of New Mexico. Not just Southeast, but the entirety of the state, by dedicating and again putting our money where our mouth is to make sure that alongside higher education, alongside secondary education, that as you heard our friend from ExxonMobil say moments ago, to retain and attract talent to not only this area but other areas of the state. Let's make it permanently and sustainably safer for all. It is an absolute honor to be with you here, Mr. Chairman, commissioners here in Lovington, Southeast New Mexico. Thank you so very much for your time today, and we appreciate all of the work that you do. Thank you.
On behalf of the commission, we want to thank you for being here and taking time to share your comments with us. And as we go around the state, the one thing that we always talk about, if you want success, you need partnerships. And we're happy to hear that you want to be a partner, because whether it's the county, the city, private entities, we can all come together for a common cause. And we're a bigger voice, especially now with the session coming up. And so I encourage you, I applaud you for your meetings, and I encourage you to continue to work with Commissioner Hicks and Francisco and come up with ideas, suggestions, whatever it is, but to keep the communication open so that when we go, we're one voice instead of two or three voices, and we're all on the same page. So with that, we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Sure. So I think yesterday, commissioners, the biggest takeaway or the most poignant takeaway was that transportation and economic development are hand in hand, and if we and they need to be married. It's a strategy that we need to approach, and I appreciate the presentations yesterday. It really truly was a fabulous day, and it's been some time since I've attended one of the Road Safety Coalition meetings or gatherings. So, but the conversations with myself and Deborah, even before and after, was that it's an economic driver. We need to make sure that we are taking care of our roads because that's what brings the people to get the jobs done. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I also want to give out a shout out to Francisco, because every time we come into his district for all these years, we've gotten nothing but positive comments, and that he's very available and he's very willing to work with and listen to everybody. And like I said, that's the only way we get things done, and it's through partnerships, through comments, through meetings, through collaborations, however it is. So Francisco, thank you for all the work you do, and keep up the good work. And now we have an aggressive commissioner here, that and rightfully so. I know she will be attending meetings and trying to solve as many issues as she can. She's got a lot of experience. She knows the area. So with that, I look forward to the next time I come. A lot of improvements. So thank all of you. And so with that, is there anybody else to come before this commission? Come on down.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you? Welcome.
My name is Jenna Decker, and I am the owner at Cactus Bloom Boutique. And our city commissioner, graciously mentioned us a while ago. And I have a concern for the safety and the well-being of the handicapped, disabled, and elderly patrons that visit our boutique. And we have no handicap parking, and that means that our patrons may have to park down the block. Well, whenever they do and they exit their vehicles, they're in traffic And then our safety ramps or our handicap ramps are out in the middle of the intersection. So our patrons have to get out in the middle of traffic in their wheelchairs and access our store. So I'm asking for some attention at the northwest corner of Washington and Main where our retail store is. So, thank you.
Francisco, will you take a look at that and see if there's anything we can do?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Anyone else? Have you heard, speak now or forever hold your peace? Okay, well, we're moving on. At any point, there's donuts, there's burritos, there's coffee, there's water, and feel free to get up at any time and go get something and make sure you get something. So that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the secretary report. David?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Appreciate the opportunity to give you a report this commission meeting here in Lovington. Just a few updates. In the past month, we had some representation outside of the state for us and some important conferences, get-togethers with our regional partners. The first one was Emergency Response Summit that was held in Dallas-Fort Worth area. Our chief engineer, Manuel Maestas, participated on NMDOT's behalf in the Washito Emergency Response Summit Wildfire Panel discussion. And that panel consisted of Hawaii, California, Texas, and New Mexico. They talked about the most recent wildfires in the state, Calf Canyon, Hermit's Peak, fires around Ruidoso, Lincoln area, how we balance different activities during fire events versus post-fire event, and how different the activities look. They talked about different overlapping authorities and how we navigate those and how we coordinate with all the stakeholders involved in fire response. The other states, basically we found out they're doing similar things to us. Texas is utilizing some more technology-based communication initiatives, but the core is like us. The technology Texas uses actually eliminates the need for in-person. We have an emergency response center or emergency operations center here in New Mexico, and we have to man that in person. Texas is using technology so that they eliminate the need for people to be at their emergency response center during events. It's basically an app, but the communication is real time and gets out there fast. So we can appreciate that. You know, we're not as big as Texas, but we're a good sized state. So to rally people around one emergency operations center is pretty tough for the agencies to coordinate. So that might be some opportunity for us to look at. We had also a Route 66 annual Mother Road Summit in Oklahoma that was hosted by Oklahoma DOT. Our executive director, Jerry Valdez, represented us during that time. I was unfortunately down in not unfortunately, I was actually pleased to be in Las Cruces during the transportation conference, so I couldn't make it to Oklahoma City. So Jerry took the reins for us there. He engaged with a broad network of stakeholders dedicated to the preservation and promotion of Route 66. Throughout the summit, Mr. Valdez participated in a series of panel discussions and workshops focused on tourism, economic development, infrastructure, and community revitalization along the historic corridor. A special thanks to our staffer Angelica Trujillo for developing a presentation and for her continued leadership on the Route 66 initiatives, which enable us to highlight the following. And her presentation was actually recognized nationwide, Mr. Chair, with the Route 66 committee. Her presentation focused on coordination efforts to revitalize the Tijeras Musical Road working with Sandbar Construction Corps on replacing and installing rumble strips for America the Beautiful on New Mexico 344.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
Secretary, that's not at any cost to us, right?
No, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
that's a no cost to us. We just have to be a partner and coordinate that effort. But that's Department of Tourism that's really funding those grants to establish those musical corridors. excuse me, her presentation also highlighted the completion of the replacement of 40 standard Route 66 signs, including Route 66 Centennial plaques with New Mexico Tourism Department logo and web link. Her presentation also highlighted the reconstruction and Route 66 artwork at Rattlesnake Jaw Rest Area along I-40. And we will have a ribbon cutting here that will be announced in the near future.
Real quick, and I was gonna mention this after, but since you got to ribbon cutting, I wanna make it clear again. Cause it's not happening, and you know, I've mentioned it many times. If there's a ribbon cutting, a groundbreaking, or anything, that all commissioners be made aware of it, not the commissioner of that district. And if the commissioners can make it, then they can drive down and partake in it. But at least that they have knowledge of it, because I know there's some stuff happening, and we're not being told about it, and it says, well, it's not your district. We represent the whole state, so we should at least have knowledge of it. Okay.
Mr. Chair, duly noted, and that will happen in the coming future for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure you all are invited. Lastly, her presentation identified or highlighted New Mexico Tourist Department, that they created their own Route 66 map displaying centennial points of interests. The summit was distinguished by the attendance of several high-level officials and agency leaders whose participation underscored the importance of coordinated investment and leadership along Route 66. Some notable attendees included representatives from Federal Highway Administration, including Administrator Sean McMaster, the Oklahoma Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, Oklahoma Secretary of Transportation Tim Gatz, Oklahoma Tourism Director Amy Blackburn, and New Mexico Secretary of Tourism Lansing Adams. Their presence reflected a strong multi-state commitment to advancing infrastructure, tourism development, and preservation efforts tied to the historic Mother Road, while reinforcing the value of cross-jurisdictional collaboration in supporting the long-term vitality of Route 66 communities. Additionally, New Mexico participated in a ribbon-cutting ceremony in Wellston, Oklahoma, to mark the midpoint of Route 66 within the state. This event highlighted the integration of public art and infrastructure as part of the highway's centennial celebrations. In a demonstration of support and recognition, Administrator McMaster represented New Mexico during the Highway Safety Week by wearing a New Mexico zippy pin during the summit, complemented by an orange ribbon that we provided him. So Commissioner Hicks was given one of these pins. Basically, they're the Roadrunner, the zippy Roadrunner with an orange ribbon that we handed out. So director wore that, so that was a big kudos for DOT. Last week, a couple of weeks ago, cabinet secretaries were honored to attend the annual tribal summit at Tamaya on May 7th. This allowed tribal and Pueblo Nation leaders to interact with Governor Juan Grisham and Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales, as well as cabinet. NMDOT was honored to receive positive feedback and public appreciation from the governor of OK-Wingate, Mr. Benny Lujan. Some of the issues that were brought to light at that summit obviously were education, housing, healthcare, and of course transportation and roads. But mainly it was Laguna and Acoma that were talking about I-40 mainly. So Lisa's not here, so we'll give her a break. But yeah, that was really mainly on education and healthcare initiatives. I had promised you all, Mr. Chair, that I would have an update on cattle guards. As we've been working over the last few months, we've done an inventory of cattle guards throughout the state. Right now, currently, NMDOT has approximately 5,800 cattle guards within or partially within NMDOT right away. We maintain approximately 20% of those. Of those, at an annual cost of about $9 million, $8.8 million. Based on these numbers, we are looking at an additional funding need of approximately $36 million for us to maintain all the cattle guards within or partially within NMDOT right away. So there's a little bit of yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth, go ahead. Commissioner? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry about
No worries, no worries. So, and really, this is over a period of time from 2019 through 2025. So there are a significant amount of cattle guards within our right of way, Mr. Chair. Like I said, we've maintained about 20% of them. So there is a significant resource gap for us to handle all of them. And we can figure out something in the future and how we maybe lobby the legislature for some additional funding, potentially identifying some FTEs within the districts, cattle guard crews, if you will, that can address those.
Or at least some money so we could maybe do some contract maintenance.
That's,
And,
yep.
and the other thing would be, I know we're addressing it and it's not an easy fix, but we also need to look at the fencing. Because there's a lot of areas where the fencing has gone down too, and as we know, we're responsible for that too, so that could, I know as of now, on some of the bigger projects, we go out to contract for fencing. But I think that we need to start identifying the fencing also, especially down there in those areas that we were at. And so, so if I can, start with that one too.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that's the next piece of the puzzle there is identifying what our needs are and resources are for fencing.
David,
as well. Yes, sir, Commissioner.
just a comment on our projects that we, I know a lot of times we focus on rehabbing, like the interstates, for example. And in some cases, that's not enough, just the rehabbing, but that's kind of what we have the money to do. But on those type of projects also, we need to be looking at the fencing on the interstate projects or any US routes, fencing and cattle guards. If we need to do some work there, included on those projects. At least from a standpoint, we get the federal funding to participate in that. So I think that has to be looked at. The technical support, the engineering section in the districts need to be looking at some of that to include that in those projects, in the project development. I think that would help us some there. And also, I know you said that there's a gap there, but I think strategically in each district, we need to make a commitment to address some of these issues. And if we need to bring in special crews to some of these areas at times and schedule like cleaning operations, I think that was a lot of the complaint that we got in the Bloomfield area is the lack of cleaning. In some cases, you need other maintenance. You maybe need to repair the grates. We maybe need to repair the safety guards, something, maybe an entire cattle guard. But I think there's some things that can be done. Just the cleaning alone, I think, would help us in a lot of cases, because that was a lot of the comments, for example, down in the Bloomfield area that we were getting from the people that were along 491 in those areas. And the fencing too. I mean, a lot of times it's not just the old fencing that's been there. A lot of times because of the areas that we live in and that we deal with, we get filled up with just sand dunes. I mean, we've got to figure out some way to clean those out, and maybe, like, the fence has been there for 30 years. The road, last time it was put up, I mean, 30-year-old fence, needs maintenance. So, I mean, we got to look at those kind of things, but just some comments.
And along those lines, I know some districts, not all districts, but some of the districts, during the winter months, they bring home the special crews to help out with snow removal and other things, so they're home-based. And that would be a good time if there's no snow to maybe get those guys out there and help out, maybe the bridge crews or the special, or the chip sealing crews or the heavy maintenance crews. That's just a suggestion that, maybe while they're home and they're on standby, they could address some of those issues and get out there.
I mean, we get snows and we get snows and things like that, especially at the northern part of the state. But there is times in there where they can do, and we've used them in that manner before, done these maintenance during the wintertime when there is no snow. Whether it be fence repair, cattle guard cleaning, those kind of things that can be addressed, especially in areas where we have some major issues. And there's some areas we don't always have those problems, but in other areas we do have major issues. And maybe we can address some of those things. But we need to look at it for strategically with our own operations to kind of help there a little bit.
No, Mr. Chair, Commissioner McElroy, no, I couldn't agree more. I think there's some opportunity for us to leverage our internal resources to address some of these concerns. To your point about project development and addressing cattle guards and fencing during those projects, I think, you know, we do typically look at those items and ensure that, you know, we are addressing them. And I think as far as this report goes, I think the majority of those cattle guards that have been identified as either repaired, replaced, or what have you, were probably done during a project, more than likely. You know, but duly noted, I think there is some opportunity for us to leverage our internal resources to that, to help with that. And Mr. Chair, I think fencing is the next item as far as inventorying and identifying what we need to keep up with that particular you know, resource, I guess.
Commissioner Hicks?
Please, thank you, Chair. Secretary, one of the questions I have, catch me up, old newbie. When you say that you're maintaining approximately 20% of those, is that because that's just what's on your list, or is that because funding?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner, I think that's probably a little bit of both. That's what we've identified as far as
The ones that we own?
the ones
Responsibility.
that we've actually have identified work done in our
Okay.
PPMS, work that we've done through projects or work that we've done through other contracts that we have in the state. But it's really a combination of, you know, they've been done with projects, they've been done with our maintenance forces, and a lot of these cattle guards are on private roads,
That's what I was going to
county
ask too.
roads. So there is, you know, it's who's really responsible for maintaining that question has been brought up. So bottom line is anything within our right of way or partially within our right of way. If there is an issue, if there is an accident, if there is, you know, cattle that gets out on the road, ultimately DOT is going to be liable for that. So we do need to make sure that we come up with a plan to address these as best we can. The first step was to inventory what's in our right of way, what are we maintaining, and what's that gap.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Secretary.
Yes, sir. Okay. So fencing's next on that to-do list, Mr. Chair. Moving on, New Mexico 165 Las Huertas Creek Road. This is the road that was brought up last commission meeting in Albuquerque, just beyond Placitas. We, as a department, had abandoned that road back in 1988. Our legal department is of the opinion that we can abandon the portion within Bernalillo County, since that abandonment was filed at the county. The timeline for the abandonment, just for historical purposes, in 1988, May of 1988, the State Transportation Commission moved to give State Road 165 back to the Forest Service. This action was noted on the agenda for the STC meeting as Status Report SR 165. At the conclusion of the report, the STC voted on a motion to proceed with abandonment with unanimous approval. On July 1st, the declaration was filed. On July 14th, State Transportation Commission was made aware of some disappointed residents regarding that declaration. 8/19 of that same year, there was public comment regarding the abandonment. And then finally, September 15th and 16th of 88, motion to affirm the 520 action to abandon was unanimously approved by the STC. So at this point in time, I guess what we could do if we wanted to, and this is really something we have to decide on, the portion within Bernalillo County we can effectively abandon because that was actually recorded. The portion within Sandoval County, there is We didn't record that, so.
And what's the length of that, the part that's in Sandoval County?
And I'll defer, Paul, do you have that length for 165 within Sandoval County?
About a mile and a half, Chair.
So about a mile and a half of about an 8.6 mile road. So the majority of it, we could effectively abandon. The legal counsel gave us, the opinion that, that was recorded. We can do that. It's just that last 1.5 mile that's in question.
The question is gonna be that if the 1.5 miles or whatever on Sandoval County side, if that hasn't been officially abandoned or turned over to anybody by us, we need to know at the next meeting, then are we responsible for it? Which I would assume we are.
So, Mr. Chairman, our understanding at present is that we are responsible. The extent of that responsibility is up to the department as far as maintenance schedule and availability and things of that nature. But our opinion at this time is that the department is likely responsible for that section, the section in Sandoval County.
Okay, so, when we have our meeting, next month, now in June, I'm sure that the residents are gonna come back and they're gonna wanna know what happened, if you haven't already been in contact with them. So at that time, we can have all our ducks in a row and give them a clear, definition of what we can and won't do.
Okay, Mr. Chair, update Expo property acquisition. So DOT has been assisting, Expo New Mexico in exercising their power of eminent domain to acquire several commercial properties, and residential properties adjacent to the state fairgrounds in Albuquerque. The relationship was memorialized in a cooperative agreement between NMDOT and Expo New Mexico. NMDOT's role under the cooperative agreement included using an on-call consultant to perform initial subject property research and appraisals. Terra Consulting is who we're using, Terra right away. NMDOT's consultant's role includes drafting and sending offer letters to the owners of the subject property and working with Expo New Mexico as well as New Mexico State Fair Tax District to negotiate with owners and determine what relocation assistance may be needed for the commercial tenants of the subject property. In April, NMDOT, Expo New Mexico State Fair, and the State Fair Tax District entered into a joint powers agreement with the General Services Department and the Department of Finance and Administration to proceed with acquiring the subject properties. NMDOT's role under the JPA is primarily continuing to assist with the exercise of Expo New Mexico's power of eminent domain, but NMDOT will also provide legal service to Expo New Mexico should any of the subject properties need to be acquired via condemnation proceedings. Some discussions with the team have included eliminating some federal requirements that may not apply to a state-funded project. We have advised them that any potential future federal block grants that they may want to leverage will be dependent on the acquisition process that was used. So, bottom line is, I advised them that they want Expo New Mexico. They wanted to, in the governor's office, want to streamline the acquisition process and do it as quickly as possible. But again, I just reminded them, if ever they want to go after future federal funding, it's best to follow the federal processes and make sure that we do cross our T's and dot our I's to ensure that they're eligible for any future federal block grants that they might want to leverage for the development of that area. So I assume they're probably going to take my advice to heart, but regardless, we're assisting them with that acquisition, and that's moving forward. So that's a little update there. Vacancy reduction,
Well, I
Mr.
think-
Chair.
I want the employees to really pay attention to this part. As the secretary's been working on a plan and his staff, and I think, it sounds great. And so, listen very carefully to this.
Yes, okay, so, as you are aware, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, we are at about an 18.7 vacancy rate. That's gone up a little bit over the past year. So, NMDOT our goal, I think, and it's a good goal and it's a valid goal, and I think it needs to happen, Mr. Chair. We want to be the best paying executive state agency in the state. Full stop. So our plan to move in that direction is threefold. We're gonna, right away, Deputy Secretary Cooper is working on our internal alignment initiative to eliminate outliers at the bottom end of our pay bands. Ultimately, this is gonna result in some pay increases for a good number of our staff, to bring everybody in internal alignment. That's one. Two, we're gonna move aggressively to fill positions by ensuring that we are offering more than other state agencies for the same classifications, right? So we wanna poach everyone's HR people. We wanna poach everyone's procurement. We wanna poach everybody. So, and I'm not ashamed to say that. We will be aggressively doing that. So, we currently stand at 18.7% vacancy rate. Our plan is to get to 12% by the end of the year, at which point we'll look at filling critical need positions on a case-by-case basis. Over the past, 10, 15 years, really, I mean, since my time at DOT, we've never been below 10% of vacancy rate. So to get there would be huge. So that's, I think 12% is a good goal. For districts that are below that 12%, right, like District 1, District 6, we don't want to artificially stop them from hiring people. They still have priorities. So we are capping them at a 6% target rate. So if they can get down to 6% vacancy, then we'll start looking at their critical positions on a case-by-case basis as well. But I think District 6, District 1 are the two districts that are below 12% now, that we aren't freezing hiring for those folks. So we want to make sure that they still are filling positions of need in the critical areas that they have. And the third, we're moving away from appropriate placement altogether. We want to work towards equal pay for equal work, Mr. Chair. That means right now the DEs, every DE makes the same.
And I'll tell you this, that since day one that appropriate placement came in, I've never agreed with it. And I've made it known in meetings before, and the reason that I don't like it, it can work in some instances to the benefit of the employee, but coming up through the ranks, I mean, if I applied for a position and I was guaranteed a 15% increase, I knew I was getting a 15% increase. The way it was working in some instances, I'm applying for a position, and then they do appropriate placement, and I fall in with everybody else, so I'm getting a 2% increase, and I never agreed with that part, because why would I wanna take on more responsibility with 2% increase? And I think that the reason we encourage employees to get trained and to better themselves and to, to do it is so that there's movement, there's advancement. We talk about recruitment. And so one thing is to get our employees in here. The second part is retention.
Yeah.
How do we keep them? And I think this plan will go into both recruitment and retention. So, I look forward to this, So you guys check your checks this month. No, I'm just kidding. It's not gonna happen that quick.
No, but, and I think to your point, Mr. Chair, appropriate placement is, I mean, philosophically, in an ideal world, it might be, it's good policy in some instances, but I think when people are expecting a certain level of promotional increase and, going from one, maybe even going from just a staff position to a supervisor position, and you get 1.5%, 2%, where's the incentive on that, right? So we want to eliminate that, because again, it doesn't matter if you have 20 years of experience or 10 years of experience. If you're the business manager at a district, right, and I think Daryl can speak to this, right? If we have 6 business managers in each district, they should all be making the same. They're doing the same work. I don't care if one's got 5 years of experience or 20 years of experience. They're responsible for the same work. So that's where we want to get to, equal pay for equal work. So that's going to take a minute to get there, but I think we can get there for sure. Let's see. Lastly, Mr. Chair, capital outlay assessment. So as you're aware, NMDOT is an enterprise agency. We get no general fund In our history, typically we deal with, building, repairs, maintenance, for our buildings out of the state road fund, which obviously the state road funds for roads. So we're taking off the roads to keep up with our buildings, and making sure that they're safe, they're good, they're adequate, they comply with all the requirements, ADA, all that good stuff. But it's only been in the last 3 years where the agency has actually asked for capital outlay. So we are continuing to do that. We're doing our assessment. It should be complete. It's actually getting completed this week. We will have meetings with GST in June to identify what our ICIP, our capital outlay plan is for this upcoming legislative session. And we have a good plan for our capital outlay ask. So so far we've been successful in getting about 6 million in the last 3 years. But that's 6 million more than we otherwise would have taken out of the state road fund. So we'll continue to go after capital outlay and make all of those efforts to keep up with our buildings and our maintenance facilities without having to dip into the state road fund.
Secretary, on that
Yes,
note,
yes, Commissioner.
the conversations that you're going to have, the meetings with regard to capital outlay, is that something that you'll walk us through as well, right around that same time frame, so we're prepared?
Yeah, yes. So, Mr. Chair, Commissioner, by next commission meeting in Albuquerque, we will have had our meeting with GSD. Again, I'll share our plan, our ICIP with you guys.
Right.
It'll be completed next week.
Okay.
With a estimate as far as needs goes, and that'll be shared with you all next week, and then we can discuss it at June's meeting.
Thank you, Chair.
And Mr. Chair,
Hold on,
Commissioner, yes,
Commissioner
yes,
McElroy.
yes, sir, Commissioner.
David, I guess you'll send that out like through email or something before the meeting next time?
Yes, sir. I'll send it out to Mr. Chair, Commissioner McElroy. We'll get it sent out next week when it's finalized.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Chair, Commissioners, with that is the conclusion of my secretary report. So
I
I'll stand
have
for
a-
any questions.
I have one question, and this might include Mallory. Okay, I just have a question because I think we're all experiencing it. And with the rise in fuel costs, how is that gonna affect our budget? Because I don't think we were anticipating this rise.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, good morning. We have been monitoring our revenues on a monthly basis. Right now, we have not seen an effect of a decrease in gasoline revenue at this time. However, now that we are going through the approval process for debt service, I had set aside certain amounts to fund those 3 projects that we will ask for approval for. Since we will be going out for debt service, that frees up that money. Therefore, right now, cash-wise, we are sitting okay.
Okay, that's good to hear because, I mean, there's no telling the extent of the time that it's going to either rise more or just stay where it's at.
Correct.
And it was something that we hadn't anticipated, nobody had.
And then just keep in mind, starting July 1st, due to Senate Bill 2, we will be getting new recurring revenue, and that's about $69 million. So we will be looking forward to that starting in July, and we'll monitor our revenues monthly to make sure.
Thank you,
Okay?
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Is there any other questions or comments from fellow commissioners? Commissioner Chenoweth, do you have any questions?
I do not have questions. I just really want to thank Secretary Quintana for that comprehensive report. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. Secretary
I do
McElroy.
have one thing, I think I could save this for later on, because there is something Mo is gonna go over with. I was gonna save my comment till then, but I was gonna ask the question, kind of monitor this on my own. But now in May, we didn't have a letting for any projects in May. Is there a reason for that?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, Commissioner McElroy, yeah, we had some projects that saw some unexpected delays with regard to, in one instance, it was a late geotechnical report that we were anticipating getting, that came to us late. We've had to move a couple of projects out for utility issues, coordination. Yeah, so it's not ideal. We don't like to have months where we don't have lettings. But you know, we're not, the projects aren't going away, thank God. They're just getting delayed a little bit. I let ACNM know and APANM know, our industry partners, gave them a heads up on what was going on as well. You know, it was unfortunate, but again, it's not a project's not getting, it's just getting delayed. It's still going out. It's just a matter of getting delayed by a couple of months. But yeah, there was some unanticipated circumstances that resulted in those delays.
Yeah, I can see that. We certainly don't want to get any other projects out there that we end up with a claim and other issues. But I think we just kind of continue, and I think you do, and Manuelito does too, and the districts do. We've got to be cognizant of trying to keep that letting schedule stable as much as possible for the contracting community and the subcontractors, suppliers, everybody involved in that. They are our partners, and we just need to be cognizant of that and work towards having something that is stable that they can use and they can plan on. So, but again, we don't want to let projects out there that we end up with a claim or we have to suspend for 6 months, 8 months, or whatever because something was missed. So
Yeah, I know, Mr. Chair, Commissioner McElroy, I know you're 1,000%
we just have to
correct.
keep that in our, looking ahead and make sure that we try to avoid as much of that as possible. Let a good schedule. Okay.
Absolutely, and I think, over the past probably 4 or 5 years, and it's really been, I mean, into this area's credit, the revenue generated for us, and as well as you're well aware, when you were a district engineer, we were so heavily reliant on the federal aid dollar that there was a very little flexibility that we had with projects. Oftentimes, if we couldn't delay them, we would have to trim scope. We would have to cut back on things. We've been very fortunate over the last 5-6 years that we have been getting the but additional appropriations that have helped us to fill gaps, and that have really helped us to stabilize that letting schedule more than, in past years when I was a project development engineer and we having to move projects around and call it the stip shuffle. We haven't had to do that so much. So I think this year's a little bit of an anomaly in that regard, but in general, I think our industry partners have recognized that the letting schedule has stabilized pretty significantly over the last 5 years. We'll get back to a more stable letting schedule, to your point, and Manuel's doing a great job in taking on these duties. And next year, we will be kind of holding the district's feet to the fire as far as establishing a baseline letting schedule and ensuring that they're placing their projects appropriately based on the needs that they have, whether right-of-way utilities or what have you. But there's a policy in place where a district might end up giving up some money to another district that has a project ready if their project slips. So
shovel ready.
Shovel ready. We have shovel ready projects, Mr. Chair, that can step into the queue if a district doesn't meet their timeline. But I'm not too concerned about that. I think we'll be all right.
Any other questions? Any other comments?
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Chair and Commissioner, the question that I had for you is earlier, and this is for you, Secretary, earlier this year you mentioned looking at perhaps a different approach with regard to utility relocates prior to roads. Is that something that you've actually had discussions at this platform? Having come in late.
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, Commissioner Hicks, what we would like to get to a point of is the default being that the utility relocations are done as part of our project, so that our contractors can bid that risk in and effectively put that into their schedule so that we're not reliant on third-party contractors to get in, get out, get their utilities out of the way, so our contractor can get going. In the past, there hasn't been a big appetite to hold the utilities feet to the fire as far as delay claims go. We have currently about $1 million delay claim now on Rio Bravo because the gas company in Mexico has delayed us. We're gonna work with general counsel to put them on notice. We're gonna hit them with that claim. Cause we haven't done that in the past, we're gonna start doing that now. So twofold, ideally, we would like to get them out of that type of risk and just get into an agreement with them so they can incorporate their work into our project. But if they don't wanna do that, then we need to start really making sure that if they're delaying our projects and we are getting hit with contractor delay claims, we're gonna push it onto them.
Is any other comments or questions? With that, thank you, Secretary, and I'll just leave it with this. I've had conversations with you and with Mallory, and I'm very confident and I'm very happy that you are on top of the bonding, and we'll be hearing from them later on. But I just want to make sure that we meet all our deadlines and we're on track, so I know you're on top of it and keeping a sharp eye, and so we appreciate that too.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
could we also have a timeline? And that may be on the bonds, that may be something that's already been distributed and I don't have, but a timeline on the bonds would be great. It doesn't, it can be verbal or just send it out to me.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Hicks, absolutely, I think the timeline will be touched on in the presentation later today, but we'll also follow up with an email to make sure you guys have it on record.
Thank you.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Chair and Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary, and with that, can we bring up Mo?
Only new jokes, Mo.
No golf stories, no jokes.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, welcome.
It's good to be this part of the New Mexico. I spent a lot of times down here in the early 80s and late on, and I work with Commissioner Hicks and her dad, God bless his soul, Dick Pettigrew. So we build a lot of roads around this area, and to me, it's like coming home. And next week is my anniversary, so my wife, she came with me. Says, I want to spend time in Lovington. So she liked Lovington because she used to come down with my kids. They were little, and we built a lot of roads. I work on every highway around Lovington, Hobbs, Eunice, Jal, and so it's really nice to come see it. And went to the lake actually last night, and the swans are gone, which broke my heart. The park has changed because my kids used to play in these parks, and but I've been married 48 years, so my wife, we are like almost connected at the hip, so she always, I take my wife everywhere, but she always finds her way home, so I don't know, so and I've been married to a Catholic, so I feel guilty all the time, so so and no, it's good to be back home again, and I appreciate District 2 and Daryl Johnson. When I started working District 2, Daryl was in second grade, so he already has gray hair. I don't know, so Anyway, we're going to talk about the change orders. As you can see, there are not that many change orders this month, and last month, we have 3 for the adding more work and money, and 3 of them are adding days. The one that you might want to be interested in, I think one of you commissioners talked about it, the fuel costs gone up. So one of them is adjustment to the cost of the contract with Mountain State, and because of the fuel cost, and feds are participating in the fuel cost, so we are not just paying it ourselves. And
We haven't noticed the contract on that, right?
I'm sorry?
That's already in the contract.
yes,
Fuel, okay.
yeah. So but the contractor has the option to opt in or not. So And the second one that is kind of interesting for you all, the one with the chemo construction, the project is completed where we had a dispute. So based on our discussion with them and the dispute resolution board, it was resolved. So that one is completely and done. And so if you have any questions, I can. And the experts are here, the district engineer who caused all these change orders. So speaking of expert, it reminds me of a factory broke down and they called the manufacturer to come help them. They sent an engineer and one of the experts. He showed up and with a suitcase, little suitcase, and he walked around the machinery and he touched something and he went back to his briefcase. He opened it, there was a hammer. He took the hammer out and he went in that spot and he hit the machine and everything started working. 2 weeks later, the owner got a bill for $10,000. He wrote them back, I'm not gonna pay $10,000 for that. I want justification. So he sent him a justification. Picking up the hammer, hitting the machine, $50. $9,950 to know where to hit it. So these guys know where to hit the machine. So any questions? Thank you.
Is there any Raider fans in here? Here we got 2, 3. See Francisco about the salary adjustments, the salary, in-pay van increases. I'm a Raider fan too. Welcome, Francisco.
Thank you, Commissioner, Mr. Chair. As district engineers, we go to a lot of meetings, but one meeting that I always look forward to is our hosting the commission in District 2, because it gives me an opportunity to highlight these people behind me, highlight the district and all our accomplishments and everything good we're doing here in Southeast New Mexico. So thank you for the kind words earlier, Mr. Chair. Before we start, the compliments are nice, but I play such a small part in the success of District 2. It's really these people behind me. So I'd like to bring them up one-on-one so they can get some counter time and introduce themselves here at the podium, our valued District 2 staff. So I don't know who wants to start it.
Hold, if you can hold it to at least 4 minutes.
Hello, I'm Tara Collins. I'm the district administrator at District 2.
Welcome.
Hello, Manon Arnett, local government liaison.
Welcome.
Hello, Louis Mata, District 2, ADE Engineering Support.
Welcome.
I'm Michael Smelker. I'm the ADE of Construction.
Welcome.
Daryl Johnson, District 2 Business Support.
Welcome there, Daryl.
Nick Soto, Staff Manager, Chip Seal.
Welcome.
Aaron All, Staff Manager, Tatum Hobbs and Gel.
Welcome.
Good morning, Bobby Baker, District 2 Traffic Engineer.
Brian Torres, Torosa, Project Manager.
Miguel Carbajal, Chip Seal. Good morning, my name is Juan Ramos and I'm Artesia Patrol Supervisor.
Good morning, I'm Lori Green, HR Manager.
Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Marion Valencia, AMS for West Side and Special Crews.
Good morning, Steve Solis, AMS Central Patrol.
Welcome.
Bernardo Gutierrez, Tatum Supervisor.
Hello, I'm Jesse Crane. I'm the Technical Support Engineer.
Welcome.
Ken Barnett, ADE for Maintenance.
Greg Evans, AMS East Side, District 2.
Dusty Johnson, Staff Manager, Clovis and Portales.
Harvey Acosta, Staff Manager, Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad.
Michael Blair, Assistant Supervisor of Tatum.
Michelle Bush, District 2 Permit Agent.
Michael Aguilar, Hobbs Patrol Supervisor.
Dan Cummings Hops, lead assistant supervisor.
Paul Beebe, Job Patrol Supervisor.
Dominic Small, future district engineer, District 2. Senior manager.
Curtis Gant, District 2 IT.
Leland Wright, District 2 IT.
Donovan DeVue, operator, Clovis.
Is there anyone else? Well, let's give him a round of applause. We, on the meetings we go to, I always refer to DOT as family. Once you've worked here, you become part of the DOT family. And part of being part of the DOT family is that it's a puzzle. And if you look at a puzzle has a bunch of different pieces. So everybody here has a different function within DOT, but the main thing is that if one piece is missing, we're not gonna be successful. So each and every one of you play a very important and vital role in our success. And I'll tell you this, the successful companies, successful businesses are successful because they listen to their employees. The employees are the ones that are dealing with the things each and every day. They're the ones that bring the feedback back and say, hey, we can do it better if we do this, or this is what they're saying, we can better serve. And so I wanna say that we wanna continue to listen to you because you're the ones that are making it happen, and through your knowledge, through your work, through your effort, we're being a successful business. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Before I start my presentation, I just want to say thank you to HF Sinclair. They sponsored the burritos this morning. Thank you to Brazier Asphalt. They provided the coffee and donuts. And so I want to thank both of them. Two people that didn't come up here, but we're going to call them here so they can introduce themselves, is our Lisa Sandoval, the admin, and our PIO, Candice Barella. They're instrumental in putting these things together and helping us organize and get ready for this great event. So, of course, I'm Francisco Sanchez, District 2 engineer. Welcome, Commissioner Hicks. I'm ecstatic when Commissioner Hicks was appointed, vested in this community, understands South and East New Mexico, and definitely understands it in DOT. So I'm excited. Oh, there we go. Well, you said. Okay. So just touch a little bit. I know many people have seen this presentation over the years, but for the public, District 2, huge, largest district in the state of New Mexico, a lot of miles. But what we're most proud of is those communities we serve, those 8 counties you see up there. We do serve Guadalupe, Socorro, and Torrance slightly, but those first eight ones are, the meat and potatoes of District 2, and we're so proud to help serve those counties and those 86 entities within those counties. We do that with our 16 maintenance patrols, 2 special crews, and 6 project offices. We do all this with 331 full-time employees. Currently, we are at a 18.9 vacancy rate. When I took over in 21, we were at 21%. We got it down to 11. We're back up to 18.9, but as you heard Secretary Quintana, they do have a good plan to move forward, and hopefully we see that number get back to the 10, 11 range for District 2. So we all know what makes great organizations, and that's great leaders. And so just want to introduce our executive staff at our ADA and business support level. These are the leaders that oversee our major operation units. So we have Kim Barnett, Assistant District Engineer with Maintenance, Louis Mata, Assistant District Engineer of Engineer Support, Michael Smelker, Assistant District Engineer of Construction, and our Business Manager, Daryl Johnson. These gentlemen share the same philosophy and vision that I have for staff is, we all share, they don't work for us, we work for them. And that's what I think makes District 2 a great place to work. So one of the best programs that the state has ever taken on is the Transportation Project Fund. I love this program. It brings so much value to our local communities. So this is just highlighting this FY26 selected projects in District 2. Total was at 18.7 million from the state. Of course, there's a 5% match. But as you can see, we really, the communities come together and we really spread out that money for some really value projects. Our regional transportation organization in Southeast, they do a really good job of project selection. They have a great scoring criteria and they're very fair to each other. And I don't know if you've had a pleasure to see the legislative draft report this session, but District 2 communities are number one in completing projects and number one in spending the funding. So I really commend our municipalities and counties for using this funds and taking care of business. So over the last really 10 years, but this highlights the last 4 years of our House Bill 2 funding. Really, our legislative partners in the state have really seen the value of investing in infrastructure. Of course, we could always use more funding, but this is the list of the last 4 years. We really utilize this funding. The majority does go to contract maintenance type projects to really enhance our pavement and our infrastructure, but we have used it for design. We've also used it in construction projects. So the map on the left kind of represents where the funding has gone throughout District 2. As you can see, it's well represented throughout the district. That's the map on the left. The one on the right is our local government road fund. That's FY26. And as you can see, we're also funding throughout District 2, and most communities do apply and do participate in the program. District 2 construction. So currently and actively, we have over $272 million worth of projects. These are the full list of the active projects going on right now in District 2. So you can see it's a pretty robust program at $272 million. I would like to highlight So what's that? Yeah, they're having fun with me. So I want to highlight some major investments that are going on in District 2. One of the major investments, over $62 million, is the US 380 corridor. This is a huge, large-scale project that goes from Roswell all the way to the Texas state line. We do have it broken up into 6 phases. Currently, we do have 2 active phases in construction at $62 million. It's going to be a great project when it's completed. Even these 2 alone are going to bring so much safety value to that people traveling that corridor. The passing lanes are really going to enhance the highway. We're finishing up downtown Clovis, phase 2, a full roadway reconstruction at $42 million. We are going to finish the final phase of Clovis letting. We're going to let it this summer. So that will be another $42 million invested, and that will complete the reconstruction of downtown Clovis on US 60. A couple of projects of interest of this area that we've broken ground is the control number 210 4333 and the 4334. Those are our 2 major projects at 128. And so what I really want to highlight on this slide, and we also have a future one on 128 with the 4335. And so what I really want to highlight here, and I spoke at the Permian Road Safety Coalition, and 872 crashes on these 2 highways in the last 5 years. That comes out to an average of 2 a day. And this is only 80 miles of highway combined. 23 fatalities in the last 5 years. And as you can see, we've made some major strides. We're investing $152 million, but if you look at the orange section, those are unfunded. So there's still a lot of work to do. We're doing a great job leveraging all types of funding. As you can see in those categories, we're using, severance tax bills, safety funds, our own internal district budget. We're using a grant. So we're doing our best with available tools to really try to deliver these two corridors to the public. This is representation. Like you said, we're building this in phases, but we're really focusing on the intersections. Out of those 872, about 80% of those accidents are happening at the intersections. The fatalities, unfortunately, are happening on the main line with people improper passing. But we really feel like this is going to do the best at this time to improve safety. We're going to redo the intersections and then build out the future improvements. And so hopefully one day we continue to work and we can tie that all together. A couple of completed projects that I'd like to highlight. Yes, our bread and butter are highways, but we do some beautiful work. This is Highway New Mexico 349, White Oaks, beautiful metal structure that came out. I really like that, how that came out. Top left corner is US 54. This is a full reconstruction of that highway, the last remaining section of that corridor, and it was completed this year. Bottom left, this is the intersection of US 285, New Mexico 31. I know people in this area are familiar. That's the gateway intersection into the oil and gas industry. It's the spine of the industry for traffic coming in. So that intersection was realigned. We moved it 1,500 feet to the south, brought in traffic signals, all the safety lanes, and we connected it to a major county road. If you would have seen the previous intersection, bad skew, a lot of accidents. This is going to make a big difference for that community and the oil and gas industry. District 2 maintenance. So right here is our scheduled contract maintenance projects for the year. This is a combination of our internal contract maintenance budget, but also our House Bill 2 funds. And so this is the full list. We have a lot completed. Most of them are pending. We continue to work, so we're gracious to the legislature for providing the extra money. Of note for this area, the highway on US 82 coming out of Lovington was really bad. And so we addressed that this year with 2 projects, Brazier Asphalt and Constructors. And so I know the community is very happy. They've been asking for DOT to work on that road, and we were able to deliver this year here in Lovington. So I want to highlight these 3 erosion and drainage projects. Very proud of our staff. I'm always blown away with their talent and their skills on our maintenance projects and the operation of equipment. So I just want to highlight these 3. In the middle, that's not really a joke, but they call it the Curry Canyon, Grand Canyon. We're having some serious erosion problems. As you can see, look at that drop off the highway. Very dangerous. Patrols collaborated from Clovis, Portales, Fort Sumner, and our bridge crew to bring in some gate-bound baskets, do some earthwork and some grading. As you can see, how that project came out with a gentle slope, so much safer for the public. There in the left corner and top left corners, that's on New Mexico 532. If you're familiar, that's the road that goes up to Ski Apache. That's our crew installing a new culvert, and they did that, what was it, a week? 2 weeks. It was very impressive, that work done there. And finally, as we all know, we suffered some flooding events in Ruidoso. A lot of our drainage structure were damaged. And this is some of the work that was done in Ruidoso by the bridge crew, heavy maintenance, Honda and Chula Rosa. And on 532, it was a collaboration between bridge crew and Capitan Patrol. Very proud of staff for delivering those projects through maintenance.
You work hard every day, and this is a very thank.
Was that me? Could I say some kind words first? Don't stop.
You work hard.
No, I guess we don't need the slide, right, to say words, right? So, wow, what can I say about the Clovis crew? They're tight. One of the tightest knit patrols out there. They truly care for each other. They truly enjoy coming to work, and every day, they make District 2 proud with what they do in Curry County in those areas. Big part of their communities. If you saw from that picture, that was the electric light parade in Clovis. Did an amazing job representing NMDOT at that parade. Super proud of announcing them as the 2025 Crew of the Year.
You work hard every day, and this is a very thankless job. So you know what I mean. A recognition is well received. But when we won it, we were a bigger crew. We recently retired 2 guys. We retired one in December, and we actually retired a guy last week. So we were a bigger crew. But no, we don't expect it. You just go to work every day, just do your best, and we've been through a lot together. You know what I mean? If you get an award, you get an award. We live here, we know these people, so you know what I mean? When they see something on the road, they'll come talk to you instead of calling and complaining on you. So it's very important to have a good relationship with the community. Merry Christmas! This last year, we ended up doing the Christmas parade. Once we brought it to the crew, everybody was excited and jumped in, and we did a flow, and we were handing out candy, man. It's something else. Well, I feel like we're family. We like to joke around. That's one of our biggest things. We like to play around with each other. Every Thursday we like to do a breakfast. I think that's a big morale booster. Everyone enjoys our time together. Well, you know, when we're out in the field, it's all seriousness. The joking is done. So it's more just like when we know we're at the shop, we can play around with each other. But when we're out in the field, it's nothing but business. Well, like I said, we retired a few guys, so we had a lot of experience on our crew. One thing good about them is they're really good about sharing the knowledge. So our knowledge didn't retire with our guys. The lead man that's here right now, awesome leader. So yes, they're in very good hands. I have to say this is one of the best jobs I've ever had, and it's not always hard labor, but when the time calls, it is very physical.
On behalf of this commission, we want to thank you and congratulate you on a job well done. And I think you said it perfectly. Our employees come to work every day to make a difference. They don't just show up. And that's what distinguishes us or separates us from other places. And I know for a fact, because one of the jobs I had when I was here was going out, meeting with patrols, and the number one issue always was pay. So you have to have a passion to work here. You're not here for the money. And that's why I think Secretary Quintana is working on a plan that's going to compensate you the best we can. And we appreciate that. And so we don't control the raises every year, but I'll tell you this, when I was out there, and if we didn't get a raise or we barely, as simple, I appreciate you, we thank you, that goes a million miles. You at least feel valued. And so again, and I'll say it over and over again, thank you.
So the Best Patrol Program recognizes one patrol from each district that demonstrates excellence in all aspects of maintenance operation. Patrols are evaluated on roadway maintenance quality, bookkeeping and documentation, clean and organized patrol yard, equipment condition and upkeep. This year, that honor goes to Artesia Patrol. I can't say so much. We have so many great crews out there, but we don't have lines in DOT. We are NMDOT 1, but there is lines on our patrol boundaries, right? And you can tell when you cross that patrol that Artesia is taking care of business. I really consider them a glue patrol. They're between Roswell and Artesia, two tough areas, but they're there to hold the glue to support those two patrols in times of need. So I'm very proud of the Artesia Patrol.
We cover about 530 lane miles. It's quite a bit of patrol. I mean, we're between Carlbed and Roswell, so in that area. We cover the oil field, so it's kind of busy area. Well, there's a lot of like pothole patching, mowing, sign maintenance, fence maintenance, bridge cleaning. There's a lot of different activities we do, and we keep busy all the time. We have to cover quite a big area. We should be 9, but for some reason, we've been a little longer with only like 6 guys. Right now, our crew is kind of small crew, but with the crew that I have, these guys, they'll be on top of everything. They'll jump, and working with these guys over here make my job easy because they know what to do. They have a lot of knowledge on what they do, and to operate equipment, I mean, it's pretty much all of them know how to operate any kind of equipment. So I'm glad that I work with these guys, man, because I mean, they make me feel like, I'm on the right spot. I don't have enough word to tell you about these guys. They are really a good group of people. I see that they help each other, I mean, they take initiative. A lot of times I just suggest, I think we have to go do this. And by the time I, finish, they already trying to load up, so we're ready. So if you want to, let's go, That makes everybody's job easy, The patrol of the year, it means a lot, so that way they can keep the morale going up and up and up, And I'm proud. I'm very proud of those guys, these guys, that they got it. We know that we have to give a good customer service, and we try to please them, and any way we can. Make me feel proud when we fix roads, because it's for somebody else a benefit, like the public. I feel like we're doing something good. It made me go home, thinking like, man, we did good.
On behalf of this commission, we want to thank you also for your excellent work and your effort. Thank you.
I think one thing that makes a great place to work District 2 is, we don't have an HEA committee, organization anymore like we used to, but we still come together as a group, and we do a lot of employee engagement, at our level with the executive, but also with staff. So here's a full list of our employment engagement activities, anywhere from our rodeos, our standard kind of morale boosters and important events, but we also like to celebrate a lot. So this is our full list of engagement this year. Got some cool pictures throughout the year. That there on the left, that one really means a lot to me. We do Christmas with Santa. I came from the city of Roswell, and every time you're gonna make a change, it's never easy and you're nervous about it. But when I first came to NMDOT, this was one of the first events I attended to with my family. And so I have pictures with my son when he was 6 years old, and we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of course, we took a break during Christmas, but it meant a lot to me that organization does that, and now he's 18. I did get a picture last year with him on the lap with Woody. Everybody remembers Woody, right? And so it means a lot that we do this for our employees. We took on a Christmas decoration challenge, as you can see in the middle, with anything in their yard, and that the Roswell Project Office was able to win that with that sled display. Very talented putting those together, and some other creators around the district. On the right was our first annual chili cook-off. I know we do a lot of maintenance togetherness and programs, so we really want to start doing this for construction. We're doing the Road Warrior, but we're really happy to do this at District 2. We're hoping to make this an annual challenge. So this was the chili cook-off. The first annual winner was the Clovis Project Office. Just some pictures. Families means everything, and those are our future right there. So we love hosting these at District 2. These are kind of work related, but same thing. We like to engage our employees and acknowledge them. Up there was our annual retreat luncheon, where I presented the vision for the next 2 years, our safety and service awards in Ruidoso, of course, our District 2 rodeo up on the right, and then that's the Road Warrior competition that District 6 hosted. We had a good time, didn't do so well, but we're gonna work on it, and we're really gonna give it a go. I think we're gonna have a good chance next year. We did have the best sign and flag though, by far, so we're excited to participate next year. Engineering support, very proud of this unit. We're really rebuilding our technical support and design group. At one time it was a robust design program in District 2. A lot of employees kind of went a little bit down. Now we're building it back up. I'm very proud of what they're doing at engineer support. So this is our list of our future projects. Listed in these next two slides are FY 26 and 27. Why I'm so proud of this group, as you can see, the blue, those are all redistribution shelf projects that they had ready. One of them is from South Region, so thanks South Region for having that $26 million one ready. But the other two come from District 2, and we're really building that program back up, and we look forward to delivering more redistribution projects to the area. The following, in FY 17, we do have some major investments. We're gonna do another phase on 380, that's 743, and of course, one of the projects I highlighted on the 128 map, the 4335. This year's Supervisor of the Year and Employee of the Year do come from the Engineer Support section. So our Supervisor of the Year is Bobby Baker. You know, he's born in Belen, a New Mexican resident. He does have a bachelor's from UNM, so, but I don't know if we don't hold that against him, but very lucky to
Give him a raise too.
Oh, you get a raise? He's a proud parent of 2 daughters, 20 years of experience in the public sector with Bernalillo County and the city of Albuquerque. Very lucky for us to get Bobby on our staff. He's a true traffic engineer. You know, we're rural in New Mexico, and so some of the rural districts, the traffic engineer is kind of a learned position. You step into it and you learn it. But for Bobby, he is a true traffic engineer. He understands there's a lot of development in this area. He understands the impact studies. He understands signals and roadway lighting. But the honor that the reasons we're seeing this honor for me is because just how proactive Bobby is. He's super supportive of maintenance and construction. Traffic's always a gateway for the public. They're always reaching out to traffic with safety concerns, striping, signing, issues on the highway, and we get a lot of emails.
I wasn't expecting Supervisor of the Year.
I did it again. And so when emails come in, you know, I don't even have to ask. Before you know it, Bobby's in my office with a solution and acting on it and taking care of it. So just want to say congratulations to Bobby Baker.
I wasn't expecting Supervisor of the Year. I mean, when I came in here, I had a lot of experience, and there hadn't been a traffic engineer, so I was doing good things that weren't being done. I started here as assistant traffic engineer in January of 2024. I've been with DOT just a little over 2, and I was with Bernalillo County for just over 20. So I've been doing this about 23 years. We are responsible for the installation of traffic control signs. You know, I just started working with the patrols to get some of these signs changed out. We do maintenance striping throughout the district. If there's accidents or something, we'll look at the striping. We issue all the permits, utility permits, driveway permit. We do in-house traffic signal warrant studies, street lighting studies, a lot of traffic impact studies. I think I did change a lot of things. I like to be involved in everything, and if I need to do something to help them out, I do it. I think being engaged in everything, being engaged with all of your employees, engaged with what they're doing, looking to see if there's improvements that could be made. I'm very fortunate to Michelle, the permit agent, and then Alan is pretty much my assistant. We all got hired around the same time. We've all learned together. It's a great place to work. There's a lot of knowledgeable people. My boss has taught me a lot. I've learned a lot being here. All the patrols, they really assist us. At the county, I couldn't go to a different department and ask them to do something. So here, I could ask a patrol directly to do things, and it's just nice to be able to work directly with everybody.
And Bobby, on behalf of the commission, we commend you and congratulate you also.
Our Employee of the Year 2025 is Miss Michelle Bush. She is the District 2 permit agent, a Roswell native, has 2 sons, 10 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchildren. You know, Michelle comes from the private sector. She has over 24 years at Leprino. If you're familiar, it's a large cheese plant in Roswell. She worked multiple roles in that company, Rosa supervisor, did a lot of great things. So we're very lucky to have her come to NMDOT. What makes this role tough, this area is growing. As you can see, those are some of the challenges we face. Those are fast lines they put on our right of way and our culverts. Michelle does a great job, working with the industry and trying to reach some compromises out there that keep the public safe, but also work for the industry. Michelle is extremely productive. Our permits reach over 2,000 a year, and that's a lot, but she's able to handle that workload, all types of utility access, special events. Why Michelle has been so good at this job is really, she takes her private sector experience, but she doesn't let it override. I know I preach all the time, we want to grow employees from internally, we want to hire internally because of that institutional knowledge. And sometimes when we come from the private sector, they try to insert what they were doing there, and sometimes the ideas are great, but sometimes they don't work with government. But with Michelle, she makes sure that she blends that experience and makes some really good decisions for us at District 2. I couldn't be more proud of Michelle and the work she's done in permitting. Customer service. I know a lot of this permitting, the access, the utilities come to the secretary's level. What makes a big difference for us is the way Michelle has approached our new e-permitting system. I think we've lost a lot of the customer service because we no longer have to deal with our customers by phone, by email, but Michelle still has kept our old school ways, the way we used to do permitting in District 2, and she makes sure that she talks to people and walks them through the process, and get a lot of compliments for our developers and our public. So congratulations to Michelle Bush as Employee of the Year.
I'm the senior traffic technician, but everybody just calls me the permit agent. I handle permits, so if a customer wants an access onto a highway, they have to apply for a permit. They can't just build an access. So, we're a big oil and gas industry area. It's a big workload, but we take every challenge on. Sometimes I can do over 200 permits in a month. Sometimes it's 80. It really depends. But in looking at the numbers for the state, we get about a third of what comes into the state. Customer service is critical. And, many times people deal with state agencies and the experience isn't good every time. And we like to make it good every time because we found that if we help the customers, they help us quite a bit. We support each other, which is great because it's nice to have a team that works together as well as we do. I was surprised because I haven't been here very long. Our traffic group, between the three of us here, we've only been here a little over 2 years. We were hired all a month apart from each other. To get Employee of the Year was pretty surprising. It's kind of a gauge, right? So if you get Employee of the Year, you think, well, I must be doing something right, but there's always room to be better, and there's so many people here that really, I feel like they should be Employee of the Year. There's so many great people here that do important and great. Sometimes I don't think what I do is that important, but it is important. I'm glad I got it, but I kind of feel like there's a lot that others that deserve it as well. I love it. I love it here. And I really appreciate the life-work balance that you have. I really appreciate you working for the state. I do like it.
And Michelle, thank you, and we appreciate you, and congratulations.
At District 2, we're big on community engagement. This is some pictures from some of the events we've put on or hosted or been part of. I don't have a slide with all of them, but I'll name them off because I think it's important for what we did this year in our outreach to our communities. We did the Mesa Middle School Fall Career Day, East Grand Plains Elementary Career Day, Capitan High School Career Day, Estancia High School Career Day, ENMU Roswell Gear Up Program. They came to our district for a campus visit, Roswell High Career Day, New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy Career Day, Sierra Middle School Career Day, Carrizozo School Career Day, Tularosa Schools Career Day, Ag Explorer Safety Day, and ENMU Roswell Career Day. And we really want to show our youth what NNDOT is about. And so all divisions attend this in various ways. You can see that's our technical support engineer, Jesse. You know, we do a little technical bridge building with some spaghetti challenges. So the kids really enjoy that. Our safety, that was the Gear Up program. They went through all our risk management stuff, CPR, we're showing them. Of course, our patrols are amazing with these young students that they take the equipment, they explain what we do. They really enjoy that. Up there is our lab, kind of showing the next generation what a roadway is, how it's built and what it's built of. In the middle is the academy. I brought the snow plow simulator for the kids to get in there and drive. So we're really promoting NDOT. We're showing them it's not only construction, but there's careers there from mechanics all the way to engineers. So we're really proud of the work we've done engaging communities. And to conclude my presentation, two major compliments they're super proud of. And I touched a little bit at last D meeting, but our chip seal crew, 3-time champions, three-peat for the quality award. So, yeah.
You should have brought the trophy so we could have seen it. Do you have it? No?
It's locked up because it's ours.
Hey.
So it is ours, right? I know this is a great accomplishment. 3 years in a row, you get to keep it. So it really is ours. So hopefully 4-peat, but the competition is getting very stiff. I know D4 wants it back, and then D1's right on our heels. So, but great work. That program's so huge. You know, we wouldn't be able to maintain our highways without that program with the funding we have. So we're proud of the chip seal crew. We have an annual tradition now that we've won it 3 years in a row. As you can see, we make a sign congratulating them. We hosted a party this year to thank them. We have everybody in the crew sign that, and then we put it out on the highway. That way they know, we know who took place to do that project. So that'll be there memorialized for, I hope, a long time. In the middle, we did, District 2 did win Construction Project of the Year, the 210-2163. That was a project done by constructors, contractor here in this area. That was such a great project. It brought together a rural section, an urban section. Tularosa crew was the crew that partnered up with constructors to make that happen. They were honored at the engineering conference, and we got an award, some sweatshirts, and it was great to honor them there. I commend this crew and the leadership of Brian Torres. You know, Tularosa, that's not close to Loving. And so, yes, we understand they're transient and they understand the paper they sign, but they made the sacrifice to go down there, and it's been 2 years of their lives to deliver that project to the public. So congratulations to both those units.
Thank you, and just a couple of comments. Number one is on the community events. I encourage that with all the districts, and I know a lot of the districts are engaging in it, because since we've done that and we've communicated with the public and we're involved with the public, we've become part of the public, part of the community, and part of what the community does. And I'll tell you that it's come a long way, because today, I mean, there is a lot of respect out there. And when I started, it was all the guys in the orange trucks, and there was jokes and this and that. You don't hear that anymore. These people, the traveling public, our communities know that, hey, we're here for you, and we're here to do a job for you. And our own families travel these roads, our community members travel these roads. So I continue to encourage that. And on the last one, I just want to say that I know how hard it is to go 3 years in a row and win a chip seal award. That means that, number one, you're consistent and with quality and everything else. And the award, it's the Ray Lopez Traveling Trophy. And Ray Lopez was a supervisor of the chip seal crew that I was overseeing, and he was a great guy. And so he passed away, and he was so into chip sealing that I thought it was proper that we name it the Ray Lopez Traveling Trophy. So that means, Secretary, now that you're gonna have to get him another trophy. Because he has it locked up and he's not letting it go, so.
Find out next year.
So let's see if you can make it a four-peat. And I know it's hard, but if you did it 3 years in a row, keep it in your sights, yeah, keep it in your sights. And with that, I just want to commend you, Francisco, and all of your employees, District 2, for the fine job you're doing. Is there any other comments from fellow commissioners? With that, Francisco, we appreciate your presentation. We appreciate you and we appreciate your employees. And thank you.
I appreciate it, Chairman Adams, fellow commissioners. I know we have a big agenda. There's some items, but as I get older, the memory's kind of fading. I'm still young, but I love pictures. It really, when I see these next year and the following years, it means a lot to see the commission with these valued staff and employees. I would love for the patrol of the year, Clovis, Artesia, our employee supervisor, and Chip Seal to get a picture with you guys, and our construction Tularosa project office. I don't know when the best time is, Chairman, but I would love to have those memorized.
We should go with this next piece pretty quick, so let's do it right before action items.
Okay, sounds good.
If that's all right, unless they need to go, we can do it right away.
Whatever is the pleasure of the commission.
I'll leave it up to you.
Let's just get it done then.
Let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
Well, hey, hold on.
They're clapping for that.
Well, no, hey, if I was sitting on those seats, I'd say, let's wait. Let's go, let's do it right now, and then we'll go on to Mallory.
Who wants to go? Chip Seal? We'll try to make it fast. Chip Seal.
Good job, guys. Hey, invite us to a breakfast too.
Next week, next Thursday. On Thursday.
We will go ahead and continue with our commission meeting, Mallory. And I think we took away your podium. No, hold on, we'll help you. There you go, Dave. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome again.
Good morning.
What's a good joke?
Okay, so why does the banana have to put on sunscreen when he goes to the beach? So he doesn't peel. Okay, so I'm here to present.
I can't blame that one on Commissioner Taylor because he's not here.
I know he's not here. I'm here to present our financial summary report as of April 30th. On the first page, you will see this is all state road funds. So if you concentrate on column F, line number 14, this is how much we have received in revenue, $739.1 million in revenue. This is 9 months worth of revenue, so we still have 5 more months to go. We have expensed $802 million of that. So I know it kind of seems like we've spent more than what we've received, but again, we're only 9 months in and we still have 5 more months to go, so we're still good on this front. On the next page, that one. This is our restricted revenue, and so column F, line number 23, we received $77.5 million in revenue. We have expensed $103.9 million of that revenue. Next page. This is our cash balance. This compares where our cash was in April of 2025 versus April of 2026. The first line is our state road fund. So we're showing about a $26.4 million gain in cash. And when it comes to restricted funds, we're showing about a $9.3 million gain in cash for a total gain in cash of 35.7. Again, this is cash. This does not include any encumbrances that we have in place currently. So just to let you guys know. And then the last page is our fund balance. So this is our savings account. This is what we're projecting to end FY26 on June 30th. So line number 7, at the end of June 30th, right now we're projecting a $48.3 million gain in budget, basically, so we can use that for next fiscal year if needed. This does take into account the money that we already have, and we'll have John Tennyson, the budget director, come up. This does take into account what he'll be presenting at that time also. So overall, our total fund balance for all funds is about $56.9 million. We are at the end of fiscal year 26. right now, so we will be finishing that on June 30th. We will be opening FY '27 on July 1st. We also today had our first meeting with our new auditors. So we have selected CLA as our new audit team, so they'll be with us for the next 4 years. We will be scheduling an entrance conference now in June so that they can go over the normal rules and communications with the commission. But overall, commissioners, everything looks good on my side, so I stand for any questions.
Just one question which I always ask is, this budget compared to last year's, we're doing a lot better now.
In FY '26?
Yeah.
Yes, every year we have grown a little bit. You'll see when John Tennyson comes up, you'll see a significant growth in FY '27, which is good. About $30 million will go to the districts for contract maintenance, so that's gonna really will help them in fiscal year '27.
And no, you don't see any concerns or any red flags at this point?
Not at
Everything's
this time.
okay?
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. Fellow commissioners, if you have any questions. With that, thank you.
Okay, thank
As
you.
always, good job. Then we're gonna bring up, Mark Lovato. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Commissioner?
Good, good.
Hello, Mr. Secretary, Commissioners. I'm going on to page 79. At the top of that page, during the month of April, we received in your normal debt service set-aside payment. That was about $10 million. So we are currently holding about $80.1 million towards your next debt service payment, which is June 15th. On that second chart, these are your project funds that are available. We are currently holding $148.9 million. There was a small draw in the month of April, about $286,000. At the bottom of the page, there's nothing really to report. You do have your line of credit. There was no commitment fee paid in April. The next one will be in June. On the next page, these numbers all represent what has the activity that has happened during the fiscal year. So from 7/1 to April 30th. And during that time frame, we received in from the department $97.6 million of debt service payments. There's been earnings of about $1.6 million. Debt service did go out in December, totaling $12.5. And again, we're holding about $90 million towards debt service. Now, your May set-aside payment is not going to be that $10 million. We utilize those interest earnings, that $1.6, to drop that down. So it'll be around $8.3 million. In the next chart, these are your project funds. The beginning of the fiscal year, you did have two project funds. It was the 2014 bond series and the 21A. That 14A, we certified that the projects were complete. So the balance of that 7.7 did go to the road fund. There was draws on the 21 bond series that totaled $36 million. There was interest earnings of 5.8, and we're currently holding that $148.9 million. At the bottom of that page, this is the line of credit for your BNSF. There was commitment fees paid so far of around $83,000. There was a small amount of interest earnings of $28,000. That interest earnings is based on the cash that we do have available that we've been making the payments for this line of credit. How we got that cash was not from the department. There was a settlement with Deutsche Bank on one of your swap deals back in 2006. We received that payment in September of 2018. It was about $1.3 million. We opted at that point to hold the funds to actually pay this commitment fee going forward until we use up those funds. Going on to the next page. This will show you a breakdown of your June 15th debt service payment. You will be making principal payments of around $85.9 million. Interest will be 12.5 for a total of $98.4 million going out on June 15th. If you add in the interest payments that were made in December, that 12.5, you will have paid $110.8 million in debt service for the fiscal year. On the next page, as you have seen many times, this is your outstanding debt portfolio and how short it is and how rapidly that principal does get paid off. The debt service is pretty much flat with the exception of 27. And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Same one I always ask you. You're very happy with the way we're progressing.
Extremely happy with your bond portfolio. And going forward with the new one, it's gonna be very manageable.
We appreciate it, Mark. Any other questions from fellow commissioners? Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Are you gonna be at the June meeting? Yes, sir. Casual? Yeah.
I will remember.
Quarterly performance report, Mo.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good in front of you, there is a copy of the performance report. Commissioner Chenoweth asked us a couple of months ago, so we've been doing this for years, so we're just including it in your package. And first one, if you look at it, the non-alcohol and alcohol involved crashes and fatalities. As you can see, we have reduced the fatalities of alcohol-related crashes, but we have not been really reducing the total crashes. And that something that, Mr. Chair, you talked about it, community involvement. We do a lot of community outreach, and that's why we have really reduced a lot of the DWI crashes. But we can't control really the crashes total because what we have noticed is a lot of crashes are involving more of the speed, excessive, speed. So that's really something. And next one is we look at the letting schedule, as Secretary Quintana talked about it. We are very good at getting our projects out, so that really creates reliability, especially for the contractors. They can count on us and plan their programs and hire people and purchase equipment based on our letting schedule. So it's pretty stable, and with Manuelito's help, I don't think he sleeps anymore, so he sleeps in the office. So we're trying to get everything out on time. And also, we started the milestone review by the contractors, so hopefully that would reduce a lot of our projects delay in letting and help us come up with better projects. And as again, at the road betterment, as you can see it, we have increased it, and Mallory just gave a report on it, so we spent a lot of money on roadway preservation and everything. So the rest are pretty much self-explanatory. And again, as I said, the crashes are the one really more than anything is, like I said, we are campaigning quite a bit about the speed, and we have not been able to really bring it down, but alcohol related is really a big highlight that we can talk about. If any questions on the rest of the performance, be more than happy to answer.
Commissioner Chenoweth, any questions?
Thank you, Chairman Adams. No, I do not. I appreciate Mr. Mova's report on the performance of reducing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we'll move on now to Rhonda. You can cover both D and E.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I will be covering both D and E. This is memorial signs, a proposed placement for memorial signs on Interstate 25 at approximately, one of them will be at approximately mile marker 286, and I think the other one is probably at 287. In each route direction in Santa Fe County. The first one is in honor of Senior Officer Robert Eric Duran, badge number 286. He was with the Santa Fe Police Department. A brief background, Robert Eric Duran was born on February 1st, 1979. He was a senior officer with the Santa Fe Police Department. On March 2nd, 2022, he gave his life in the line of duty while courageously attempting to rescue an alleged kidnapping victim. His actions reflected the highest ideals of public service, selflessness, bravery, and an unwavering commitment to protecting others. Officer Duran was a devoted husband, father, son, and brother. He was deeply respected by his colleagues and cherished by the community he served. His loss continues to be felt profoundly by all who knew him. If the Commission grants approval to proceed with the proposed placement of memorial signs on Interstate 25 at approximately marker 286 in each route direction in Santa Fe County to officially honor Officer Duran, a request will be formally presented to the Commission at a future meeting. So there is no action required at this time. It's for discussion purposes only. And then I will proceed forward to item 2E or 9E. So the second sign is a proposed placement. Oh, I said 287. It's actually at approximately mile marker 285. And it is a memorial to honor Frank Lovato that was with the Las Vegas Fire Department, Engineer FP 27. A brief background: Frank Lovato was born on November 2nd, 1959. He honorably served as the City of Las Vegas Fire Department firefighter from 1983 to 2006. On March 2nd, 2022, he was tragically killed in a motor vehicle crash on Interstate 25 in Santa Fe. Mr. Lovato was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, son, and brother. He was respected by his friends, colleagues, and the community he served. His loss continues to be felt profoundly by all who knew him. If the Commission grants approval to proceed with the proposed placement of memorial signs on I-25 at approximately mile marker 285 in each route direction in Santa Fe County to officially honor Frank Lovato, a request will be formally presented to the Commission at a future meeting.
Is there any questions from fellow commissioners? I just have one question. If they are approved, are you planning on doing them both at the same day, at the same ceremony? I mean, probably at different sites, but at the same time?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay.
Chairman.
Is there any other questions? If not, Rhonda, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We appreciate it. We will now move on to action items. And we will have John Tennyson, our budget director. John, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commission, Secretary. Glad to be here with you this morning. It's that time of year where I present to you guys what our operating budget will look like come July 1st. So first off, what you'll see now is what I usually go over with you and how we got to our budget. Last August, I came to you with the FY27 request and what that was going to look like. We went in with that request of a $1.2 billion budget through various legislation and through I would say pretty good legislation done by Mr. Quintana and Mallory and the team. We came out pretty successful out of it. As once House Bill 2 was signed by the governor, we have now what our operating budget will be. So if you look at column B, we will be going in with a $1.4 billion budget. Breakdown of that will be $276 million will be going into the category 2s for our personal services and benefits. $700 million will be going into our contractual services, and $462 million will be going into our other services for that grand total of $1.4 billion. A breakdown of the budget will be structured through revenue. We will have $746 million of state revenue, $12.1 million of other transfers through DFA and other agencies that transfer money to us. Restricted fund balances, we will have $90.2 million coming in from there. And then, of course, for our federal funding, we will have $590 million coming in there. That will support the $1.4 billion budget. Dollar change that went from the request to the operating budget, $33.6 million increase in the category 2s, $34.9 million increase in the contractual services, and $89.7 million in our other services, which gives us a total change of $158 million of good revenue coming in. A breakdown of that is 68 million will be for the state revenues. That was a gain and change. $3.1 million in the transfers. 86 million, which is the difference of the fund balance. And fund balance works a little bit differently as described to you in the request, that we do take away the fund balances and then we come back with those fund balances in the operating budget once we know what our fund balance looks like and what we want to come out with what the department needs are going to be for that upcoming year. And then of course our federal dollars, about $105,000 gain. So just to highlight, the operating budget is 1.4 billion, which is a $158.3 million increase from the request. The revenues are 637.2 state road fund, 109 million restricted revenue, 12.1 million are the transfers in from taxation and revenue department and finance and DFA, 590.2 million of federal revenue. By program, each program will be set up by the following amounts. 863.8 million for our project design and construction, P562, 399.8 million highway operations, P563, 66.8 million our business support, P564, and 108.3 million for modal programs. The highlighted items, as you all know, and this is especially good for us, is I know that the executive level team was fighting for this a lot this year, is the enactment of Senate Bill 2, which is establishing a new recurring revenue for us, which will total $69.9 million to be a part of our state road fund. The revenue sources for that are the vehicle registration, weight distance, and EV annual fees that we were able to increase and get established. A 1% salary increase for career employees will be implemented on July 1. And then, of course, a key thing, as mentioned earlier by Acting Secretary Quintana, reduced vacancy rate agency-wide, and we're trying to get down to that 10% vacancy rate. So that's going to be a big thing for us going forward, and I'm fully on board for whatever we can do to help out our employees to get them where they're properly need to be compensated for. And just a final thing, just big shout out to my budget team. They really do a lot of hard work for implementing this and making sure that we're staying on key with everything, working with the districts. They really do a lot, and I do owe a lot of gratitude to them. So I can go into specific P codes if you'd like, Mr. Chair. Other than that, I stand for any questions you may have.
You've all had a chance to review this ahead of time, and do you have any questions? Is there any questions? If not, maybe do you think we should table it, or do you think we should act on it?
That's up to you, sir. I think a lot of people would be pretty upset with their budget if it gets tabled.
Well, what is your recommendation, Secretary?
Mr. Chair, I recommend do pass or do approve our budget request for fiscal year 2027, please.
You heard the recommendation of Secretary Quintana for approval of the FY 27 operating budget. Do I have a motion? See?
I don't know.
Motion.
Move for approval.
I have a motion from Commissioner McElroy. I have a second.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Hicks. Can I get a roll call vote?
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner McElroy?
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks? Yes. And Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
Thank you. That passes unanimously. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission,
Okay.
Secretary Quintana. Thank you guys very much.
Now we'll move on to bar number 12, aviation grants. Jesse, welcome again.
Hello, thank you for having me today. Chairman Adams and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to present this item. Today, I am requesting your approval for a fiscal year 26 budget adjustment request to increase budget authority in our other cost category by $3,814,964. As a reminder, the division received a $55 million legislative appropriation covering fiscal years 2024 through 2026. This funding was dedicated to aviation infrastructure across the state. The appropriation expires in June of 2026. Due to procurement delays and contractor availability issues faced by several of our grantees, 4 projects are now projected to extend beyond the expiration of legislative funding. Those projects are, first, Moriarty Municipal Airport for reconstruction of taxi lanes totaling $976,760. Second, the Los Alamos Airport for the construction of an aircraft hangar totaling $1,121,433. Third, for Gallup Municipal Airport, an installation of an automated weather observation system at $462,624. And finally, Angel Fire Airport, the construction of a hangar totaling $1,254,147. Combined, these projects represent just under $3.8 million in funding that will no longer be eligible for expenditure once the legislative appropriation expires. To keep these projects moving without interruption, we are proposing to replace the expiring legislative dollars with aviation fund balance. Approval of this bar will allow us to make that shift and ensure each of these projects is completed as originally planned. If this adjustment is not approved, the grantees may be forced to either cancel their projects entirely or shoulder the remaining costs themselves, both of which would present significant financial and operational challenges for the affected communities. In summary, this action protects prior investments, prevents disruption, and supports the successful completion of key aviation infrastructure improvements across the state. Thank you, and I stand for any questions.
Let me ask, you're asking for a total of, how much?
3.8 million.
3.8 million, okay. Is there any questions, any comments from fellow commissioners? If not, what is the recommendation, Secretary Quintana?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I recommend due pass for bar number 12 aviation grants.
Do I have a motion? You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion for approval of bar number 12 aviation grants, 3.8 million?
So moved, Mr.
I
Chairman.
have a motion from Commissioner Hicks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Second by Commissioner McElroy and Commissioner Chenoweth. Can I get a roll call vote?
Chairman Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner McElroy,
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks,
Yes.
and Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.
That passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
We'll move on now to the resolution which was presented at the last meeting of 2026-02 WHIP 2026 Hobbs Route designation request, designating the use of the Hobbs Route as a temporary negotiated alternate southern WHIP route. Francisco,
Mr. Chair,
where's the
Commissioner.
trophy?
I'm gonna keep it in my truck and can't drive around the state with it. So, Commissioners, I will be presenting on allowing the use of the Hobbs Route as a temporary negotiated alternative southern WHIP route. On April 7th, 2026, the Department of Energy, Carlsbad Field Office, requested NMDOT designate the use of a temporary negotiated alternate southern WHIP route known as a Hobbs Route as of May 21, 26, and through the completion of the JAL Highway and New Mexico 128 construction projects as justification for the designating the use of the Hobbs Route instead of the existing state designated southern WHIP route, US 285 to US 62180, or the JAL negotiated alternate route. DOE and CBFO identify several conditions adverse to WHIP transportation safety. These conditions include construction projects along the US 285, New Mexico 18, and New Mexico 128 highway corridors, heavy oilfield traffic, and lack of divided highways. NMDOT recommends STC designate the use of the Hobbs Route and allow DOE, CBFO continued use of the Hobbs Route as a temporary negotiated alternative southern WHIP route until December 31 of 2029, unless terminated early by notice. Within your packet, you have the resolution for approval of the designated Hobbs Route.
Fellow commissioners, is there any comments, any questions? If not, Mr. Secretary, what is your recommendation?
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I recommend approval of resolution number 2026-02 WHIP 2026 Hobbs Route designation request.
Okay, do I have a motion for approval on that recommendation of resolution number 2026-02, WHIP 2026 Hobbs Route Designation Request, designating the use of the Hobbs Route as a temporary negotiated alternate southern WHIP route.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Chenoweth. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hicks. Can I get a roll call?
Chairman Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner McElroy,
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks,
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.
That carries unanimously. Thank you. And now you go on to your next one, right?
Yes, the next action item is, we discussed this as an information item, of course,
Right.
with all the background, and so I know the commission is well-versed on the dedication. So I'm presenting on dedicating the Roswell Relief Route junction within US 285, approximately 1.2 miles south of Roswell, northwesternly from the milepost 0 to milepost 7.9, thence northerly and northeasterly to the US 70, US 285 interchange at milepost 15.4 in Chaves County as the Nancy Lopez Relief Route.
We had the presentation at the last meeting. Fellow commissioners, is there any questions, comments? If not, what is the do you have a, Commissioner Hicks? No. Okay, what is the recommendation from the Secretary?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I recommend approval of resolution number 2026-03, dedication of the US 70, US 285 relief route as a Nancy Lopez relief route.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval of the resolution number 2026-03, dedication of the US 70-US 285 relief route as the Nancy Lopez relief route? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, you do. I move for approval.
I have a motion from Commissioner
Second.
Hicks. Do I have a second? Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes, second.
Have a second. Can I get a roll call vote?
Chairman Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner McElroy,
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks,
Yes.
and Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.
So that passes unanimously, so now we can call it the Nancy Lopez. And do you have to have golf clubs with you when you drive it or no?
Yes, you do. And Roswell is celebrating another honor of her rededicating the school. Has a school in Roswell named after her. They're reconstructing it. So she will be here on Labor Day, and we'll make sure to get
Let her know.
an invite to the commission, and so we can dedicate the highway to her as well.
Let her know that it was an honor to do it. She was a great asset and a great role model for New Mexico and a great role model for women.
Yes, she was.
So with that, we're very proud to do that.
Did I understand you to say Labor Day?
Yeah, Labor Day, she'll be here the Thursday through Sunday, and there's different events planned Thursday, and we're just trying to determine what's the best to dedicate the highway on Thursday before the school or during the same day, and of course, there'll be a luncheon or an evening reception, so we'll make sure we get the invites out to you as we coordinate with the city of Roswell and the Roswell Independent School District.
Thank you, Francisco. And before I go on to the approval of resolution number 2026-04, can I have our attorney give us some guidance on this?
Mr. Chairman, the guidance will come after the presentation.
Okay, so we will withhold
Yes.
guidance till after the presentation. So Mallory. Okay.
Mr. Chair, while we're waiting for Mallory, just a little bit of an update. We did go in front of the Board of Finance on Tuesday and got approval from them as well to bring the bonding package to the commission for approval. So we're moving along. We're anticipating to sell the bonds by on or before June 30th. I'll turn it over to Mallory now.
Mallory, where did you go?
I was in the meeting. Sorry. So this is for Darren? Okay, so Darren Hodges is here from PFM. He's going to present to you Resolution 2026-04, and I will turn it over to Darren.
Perfect. Good morning. Thank you very much. So the item before you today,
Here in person.
what's that?
We wanted you here in person.
Yeah, my apologies
No,
for
I'm
not
just
being there in
kidding.
person.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I would have loved to have been, but unfortunately you have my giant face on the screen. So my apologies to everyone in attendance. The item before you today requests approval for the issuance of the Series 2026A bonds that will be issued through the New Mexico Finance Authority. And before we go through the parameters of the resolution, I'd like to quickly walk through a presentation which summarizes the bond issuance that we talked about or presented at the last meeting. So if you can see on slide 2, I'd like to start with an overview of the Series 2026A bonds. So these bonds are going to be sold under our recently passed new money authorization. And under this legislation that was passed, we need to sell this series of bonds by June 30 of 2026. We're currently contemplating about $220 million of proceeds being generated by this sale that will provide funding for 3 different state transportation infrastructure projects. Now, the Series 2026A bonds, as I'll talk about a little bit more on a future slide, will be conservatively structured. They're going to be tax exempt, fixed rate bonds with a 15-year final maturity. And as we'll see, we're structuring the amortization in the near term to be cognizant of our existing bonds that we continue to make debt service payments on. If we turn to slide 3, just real quickly, I'll give you a brief update on the market. While there is volatility in the market, I think what's important is that we look at where current rates are versus historical averages. And if you look at these bars right here, the blue bars represent the average of interest rates since 1990. These gold lines represent where we currently are. So in most areas of the curve, we're actually below historical averages. So suffice it to say that it's an attractive time to borrow in spite of all the volatility we're experiencing. If we turn to slide 4, this is where I want to present just the current structure and results of the transaction. And so based on current market rates right now, if we were to sell the bonds in today's market, our overall borrowing cost would be lower than 3.5%, or actually at 3.44%. And so what does that mean for us? Essentially, it means that the debt service that we will pay on these bonds, or the annual repayment amounts, is approximately at its max $22.7 million in today's market. And now one thing I want to point out is that, as I mentioned earlier, we're structuring these bonds to be cognizant of the existing bonds that we're still making payments on. And so if you look at that graph to the right, you'll see those gray lines. That's the existing debt service on the bonds we've previously sold. And these blue lines, that represents the debt service on the Series 2026A bonds. And so we're actually trying to keep debt service for the next 4 years a little bit lower, just being cognizant of the fact that the overall debt service payments are higher currently. If we turn to slide 5, this just illustrates and summarizes the 3 different projects that we're going to be funding. So the first project is approximately $125 million that we're going to be funding with these bonds, the Border Highway Connector. And the second project, $75 million roughly of bond proceeds will be used to fund the Nogales Bridge replacement. And then the last is approximately a little under $20 million to fund the Rio Puerco Bridge replacement. If we turn to slide 6, what I want to quickly show you here is it's important, as we're talking about when we're selling bonds, to not only structure the existing bonds based off current market conditions, but also being cognizant of what might we need to issue in the future. And so what we've presented out here is just an estimate of the future bonding needs that we may have and how this all fits together in terms of our future debt service payments. So obviously, a lot of our debt service capacity frees up after 2030 once our existing bonds are paid off. And so what we're anticipating is trying to remain cognizant and careful of not having debt service that's too dramatically higher than it currently is, but also making sure that we're trying to sell bonds in a manner that pays these off as fast as possible to reduce our interest cost. If we turn to the final slide on slide 7, just going to quickly talk about the next steps. So if we are to receive approval to move forward this morning, our next step would be getting the New Mexico Finance Authority board approval on May 28th. If we have that approval, then we would be looking to price the bonds the week of June 8th, and that would allow us to close the bonds on or before June 30th, which, if you remember, that's the deadline by which we need to sell on or before under the authorization. And so with that, before I go into the resolution, I'll just pause, see if there's any questions.
And looking at your schedule, would it need further for commission approval before June 30th?
No, sir.
Okay. So whatever we approve today would suffice? Okay.
That's correct, sir.
Okay, just. Is there any other questions from fellow commissioners? Commissioner McElroy.
Just a question for the Secretary Quintana. All 3 of these projects have federal grants, don't they? I know 2 of them do.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner McElroy, that's correct. Not all 3 do. The border connector, actually, I think, yeah, all 3 do. All 3 do. All 3 do have, yes, sir.
So there is an expiration date on that, so that's critical too.
It's very critical. Specifically with border connector, the expiration date was last September, which that's how that we made the project fiscally constrained by leveraging a line of credit from the Finance Association. These bonding proceeds will replace that line of credit, and that project will go out in October for letting.
Okay. And the Nogales Canyon and the other.
No,
those grants come due this year, right?
Correct.
Right.
And my other question was, both Mallory, Secretary, and Mark, you're all on board with this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
So just.
And if it's helpful, oh, sorry, Mallory.
That's okay. Just Senate Bill 2, again, we got 60 or 70 million of new revenue. The debt service will be paid out of there. So the first year is 9 million. So in FY27, we'll have more money to give to the districts, but as years go along, that money will trickle down. So it's still important that we continue to try to get more reoccurring revenue for the department.
Okay. Looks like everybody's on board, Darren. So, is there any other questions from the commission? Okay. So
Darren, do you want to go through the resolution?
Yes, that would be great. I'll quickly go through the resolution. So the resolution in front of you this morning, if approved, will authorize and approve the issuance of the Series 2026A bonds by the New Mexico Finance Authority. The resolution outlines parameters within which the bonds must be issued, and so I want to just briefly go through that. So within Section 2 of the resolution, the not to exceed parameters are outlined, and these amounts don't mean that this will be the par amount we issue or the interest rate. It's just the not to exceed, that if we do exceed these parameters, we can't issue the bonds. And so you'll note they're slightly higher. They have some cushion in them, just given the volatility in the market. So the first not to exceed parameter is the not to exceed maximum interest rate. That is at 5.5%. As I mentioned earlier, we're currently a decent amount under that. Our current interest rate's about 3.5%. In addition, we have a not to exceed final maturity of July 15, 2046. Currently, we're anticipating a final maturity of July 15th, 2041. That, again, that 5 years of extra final maturity is just to provide us some cushion to the extent that the market conditions benefit from that. And then finally, the not to exceed par amount, which we'd like to note that within the packet that you have in front of you has a not to exceed of $219,312. However, we'd like to make this consistent with the authorization that was provided within SB2. And so we'd like to request that this not to exceed par amount be increased to $220 million, which would be an increase of $688,000. This change does not change the amount of project funding that we would be looking to secure with these 2026 bonds. It just provides additional flexibility at the time of sale of the bonds to protect against market volatility. And I believe John Newell, the acting general counsel of NMDOT, will provide additional information related to this request. And so with that, I'll pause and see if there's any questions.
At this point, there's any questions, fellow commissioners, any questions? If not, I will turn it over to our legal counsel, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as Mr. Hodge indicated, the resolution as published in the State Transportation Commission meeting book lists the not to exceed par amount as $219,312,000. To keep this resolution consistent with what's been presented to the Board of Finance and with Senate Bill 2, we've been asked to increase the max not to exceed par amount in the resolution to $220 million. Before you can vote on the resolution, since the resolution's already been published with the lower amount, the commission would need to consider adopting the change within the resolution and hold a vote before the commission can hold a vote on whether to approve the resolution.
So we can have a vote on changing the resolution?
Yes, as long as it's in an open meeting, we can vote to change the resolution as published to reflect the new not to exceed par amount. And then once the commission has acted on adopting the change to the resolution, then the commission can consider the resolution. And if the commission does approve the resolution, then the resolution signed will have the revised amount.
Is that your recommendation, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, yes.
Okay, so that being said, if can I have a motion for approval of changing the resolution, and if you would read it?
Changing the not to exceed par amount in section 1 and section 2 of the resolution from $219,312,000 to $220 million.
Do I have a motion to change the resolution as presented by our legal counsel?
Mr. Chair, I would just consider that we add on to the end of that, add on to the end of that to be consistent with Senate Bill 2, or that wording that was also included.
Okay. So to be consistent, we'll change that to be consistent with Senate Bill 2, as well as the presentation to the New Mexico Finance Board. We recommend, or NMDOT recommends that the revision of section 1 and section 2 of the resolution is published in the meeting book, revising the not to exceed par amount from $219,312,000 to $220 million.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, so moved.
So moved by Commissioner Hicks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McElroy. Can I get a roll call vote?
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner McElroy?
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks?
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
That carries unanimously, so we have changed the resolution to include what was necessary. I won't go over all that again. It's already been stated for the record anyway. So
Yes.
now do we go on to the approval of the resolution?
Yes.
So I would ask for a motion of the resolution as changed or revised.
As revised, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So now, if there's no other questions from fellow commissioners, can I have approval of resolution number 2026-04, authorizing bond resolution by the revised resolution.
So moved.
And actually, the revised resolution, and read it again. I just want to make sure.
Okay, so,
I just want to read back into the record.
Right.
Now, we're on a different thing, and I
Right.
wanted to reflect what we just did.
so a revision to resolution number 2026-04 to align the language of the resolution with Senate Bill 2, as well as what was presented to the New Mexico Finance Board. A revision of the not-to-exceed par amounts found in Section 1 and Section 2 of the resolution from $219,312,000 to $220 million.
You heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner McElroy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Chenoweth. May I get a roll call vote?
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner McRoy?
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks? Yes. Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
That carries unanimously. So I think I have a headache, but but I think we got it. But so that being said, that passes unanimously. Is there any other business, or is there anyone else to come before this commission? If not, Commissioner Chenoweth, I want to thank you for your participation today. I look forward to seeing you in the June meeting up in Albuquerque.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And fellow commissioners, I want to thank you for your participation here today. And I just want to wish everybody a very safe Memorial Day weekend. Commissioner Hicks.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, I would just like to say, again, a huge thank you to our District 2 engineer for his presentations yesterday for the Permian Road Safety Coalition. Very helpful. It was significant information that we provided to all those people, he, and the people that he had support from. But it was very good for them to see those numbers and to see how the money is being spent for District 2. So thank you. Thank you, Francisco.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Francisco. Is there any other comments, any other secretary, anybody else? If not, let me bring us to our favorite part of the meeting. Or maybe we shouldn't, I don't know. But anyway, do I have a motion to adjourn this commission meeting of May 21st, 2026 at approximately 11:39? Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
That one came fast. Did you see that one? We have a motion for approval from Commissioner McElroy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hicks. Can I get a roll call to adjourn this meeting?
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner McRoy?
Yes.
Commissioner Hicks?
Yes.
And Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
We are officially adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.